Today presents Strike Battleship Argent, Book 1 in the Starships at War series by Shane Lachlan Black. Copyright 2016.
Hey, science fiction and fantasy fans, Shane Lachlan Black here, reminding you that all of my serialized fiction and all of my serialized audiobooks are available on my site, brought to you ad-free by the Action Faction. We're also supporting literacy. Every time we hit a milestone, we send another book to a school. Plus, you can get your own call sign and get producer credit in videos just like this one when you sponsor us. All ahead, battle speed.
Granted, I'll be down in a few minutes. I suspect our medical staff has their hands full with a most difficult patient right now. Get Lieutenant Austin from Astrometrics up here on the double. I need someone to mind the store for a few minutes. Chapter 25. I'm walking out that door. Sir, I have orders to... I know all about your orders. My ship is under attack. Now you either get someone in here with my clothes or so help me, I will walk onto the bridge and assume command of this ship wearing nothing but a surgical glove. The enlisted medical staff peered out from laboratory storage. To them, a captain might as well have been an emperor wearing golden armor and riding a dragon through the halls. They were used to reporting to buck petty officers and the occasional ensign. Having him roaring and spitting fire in their trauma unit was most unsettling, especially when he started barking threats to have them all busted down to mud rollers and assigned to the bowling alley. Colonel Moody managed to twist himself far enough to one side to see what was going on. It was a painful move, but the voice of reason had to be heard. "Hey, Cap, I don't think the doc was kidding when she said..." Hunter threw himself back against his pillows. Whose brilliant idea was it to give the XO and Chief Medical Officer jobs to the same person? "Yours," Dr. Doverly said as she strode into sickbay. "Are you still huffing and puffing?" "Don't you start with that huffing and puffing thing again. You get me crutches, a bed with wheels, or 3 sturdy crewmen, and get me back on the bridge of this ship, or by all that is good and right in this world, I'll..." "Acknowledged, Skipper, I'm sorry, but you've been overruled," Commander Doverly replied, checking the captain's charts. "By whom and under what authority?" Hunter roared. "By the Chief Medical Officer of DSS Argent," she replied calmly. "And that gives her the authority," Moo said, wincing as the metabolic stimulators on his broken wrist lowered the temperature around his hand in preparation for another treatment. Doverly took out a portable medical scanner and re-examined the contusion on the side of the captain's head. "You've had a concussion, Jason. That and you've got a broken ankle and 2 broken fingers. I can mend the easy stuff, but if that concussion isn't evaluated properly, it could be very dangerous for both you and the ship." "Austin to XO. Doverly keyed her headset mic. "Go ahead, Lieutenant." "I have assumed command on the bridge as acting officer of the watch. Target Kilo X-Ray 1 is burning in space." "Very well. Signal Archangel 0 to return to CSP pattern and stand by for further orders. Doverly out." "You and your combat space patrol," Hunter sighed. Annora smiled. A moment later, the emergency medical team brought Ensign Walls into the trauma unit and placed him in one of the life sustainer units.
There are those who believe the sudden hostilities between the Core Alliance and the Sarnstar Empire were unexpected. Those who have engaged Imperial forces at Rho Theta, Lunar 6-1, and now El Rey know better. The strike point, Siege Island. The Alliance fleet is well aware an attack on populated planets could happen with as little as 90 seconds advance warning. Dragonkind's most lethal battleship and most ruthless warlord, known as He Who Slew 9 with a Single Blade, are tasked with a simple mission: hunt down and destroy mankind's warriors. The leaders of the Core Alliance have pushed their enemies too far. Payback is coming, and it will fall from the skies on wings, stained with human blood. Presenting the most popular and successful series in Shane Lachlan Black's entire science fiction catalog. Destroy All Starships includes 7 ambitious novellas featuring memorable new heroes, menacing alien enemies, and an action-packed maximum firepower story cycle that sets the standard for the entire Starship's universe. The order is given. This time it ends in victory or annihilation.
Is Walls going to be all right? Hunter asked. Doverly looked over at the ensign's LS unit and verified he had been secured properly. I think so. He's got a lot of injuries from the last attack. I think he got a little overzealous stalking around the bridge during his moment as Admiral Nelson directing his gunnery. I have to say, he scored some points. He just has to remember to fasten his seatbelt before he starts flying teeth first into enemy weapons fire. What happened to him? Moo asked. Then he groaned as the stasis units nearly froze both of his feet. Same thing that happened to us, Doverly replied. He tried to knock Argent over and the ship won. Am I going to be like this for long, Annora? Zoni whined. She stood in the doorway to the trauma unit with her arm in a sling and a bandage around her head. I can't run transmitters properly pecking around with one finger. Well, don't you look like a forlorn little orphan? Doverly exclaimed. Zoni stuck her lower lip out. No reason to be sad, Lieutenant. You'll be good as new in a couple of days. Where is Yeely? Wasn't she with you? She grabbed an oxygen injector and a stim scanner and said she was going back to engineering, said she was worried they would mess up damage control on the energy systems after all the rerouting she did. I'm telling you, trying to keep all of you under control and properly treated is like trying to corral 2 litters of 6-week-old puppies, Annora exclaimed. Zoni, you need to be off your feet for the next 6 hours. I have to get back to the bridge, Doctor. Austin can't run the whole ship by himself. Bed 5. Now. That's an order, Lieutenant. Doverly's voice had that combination of motherly certainty and command tone that told the Argent signals officer she wasn't kidding. Zoni sighed. Fine. She slouched over to the LS unit and plopped herself down, staring at the ceiling with a pouting look on her face. How are you doing, Colonel? Don't ask, he replied. These machines you've got me hooked up to make me feel like I'm living in a delicatessen refrigerator. Well, at least you won't be wandering off. The doctor met the captain's gaze. Another word out of you and I'll pump you so full of sedatives you'll forget your name. Hunter made a face, then collapsed on his pillows again. Janice, you can tell the orderlies to stop hiding in the lab now, Doverly said to one of the nurses still working on Ensign Wall's LS unit. I have to go find our engineer before she falls and breaks something else. She handed her blaster to the nurse. Set this on stun. If any of these delinquents tries to leave sickbay, shoot them. Chapter 26. There's no way this many things can go this wrong this quickly, Commander Jace Hunter grumbled. She strode quickly through the nearly empty corridors of Survey Station 19, located at the extreme western edge of the Gitairn asteroid field. Her battle group was only a few hours out from its rendezvous with her brother's battleship, but the readings from one of her group's frigates left her with no option but to stop and confirm the data. With her was her XO, Lieutenant Commander Tom Huggins, and several lower-ranking signals analysis officers representing some of her escort ships. We've never seen cloak warnings like this. It's almost like they're using some kind of technology we haven't seen yet. We're still getting gravitics from the main body reported by our probes, but if the Ajax is right... Tom, if the Ajax is right, we're about to jump into the biggest open space battle since the Praetorian campaign. Amy, did you correlate the readings with signals and astrometrics? Yes, ma'am, Lieutenant Sutherland replied. I have all the readings in this portable unit. I need about 15 minutes with the station's tracking logs to confirm. If we're right, we can track the last known positions of the unusual readings and be ready when the cloaked formation makes its move. Outstanding, Jace replied as her team rounded the corner. 2 Marines were guarding the door to the astrometrics record storage. Open the door, Corporal, she said impatiently. I'm sorry, ma'am. Access to record storage must be authorized by the station commander. Commander Huggins interrupted. We already checked. The best we could come up with was the approach officer. Apparently there's nobody in charge out here except a couple of accountants and a guy with a flashlight.
The rest of the story is only one keyword away. Visit jumpline.click in your browser. New keywords are activated every day. Get access to our entire catalog of science fiction, fantasy, and gamelit.